What is going on YouTube? This is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles, and we are back with another video. This time another Hot 10 list for this week. What I do on this video is I take the Hot 10 comics from the Key Collector app for the week and I go through them and let you guys know if I'd be a buyer here at these prices or I could be kind of staying away because I think they're a little overpriced here. But either way, before every video, I remind you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button for me if you are not a current subscriber of the channel. And of course, I want you to smash that like button for me if you've been liking the content that I've been putting out there. And as always, drop comments down below. Let me know what you think of this list. Let me know if I've made some mistakes or if you think a book should or should not be on this list or you'd stay away or buy them. So let's just jump right into it and get into number 10. At number 10 this week is a scorching hot book. It is Tomb of Dracula number 10, the first appearance of Blade the Vampire Slayer. Now, I will say this. If you haven't bought this book yet, you have severely missed out because it is skyrocketed over the past year. Once they announced the Blade movie about I think it's 6 months to a year ago, this book has taken another step higher. Nice looking Bronze Age book. A CGC 5.5 this week, recently sold for $1,645 for a mid-grade book. Like I said, I think you have missed out on this book. It probably will take another step higher at some point, but for that amount of money for a mid-grade book, I know Blade is an awesome character. I'm probably not shelling out $1,600 for a mid-grade book at this point for a Bronze Age book, so I'm kind of staying away from this one right now and let it come in a little bit. And I'm not even sure it's gonna come in, but to me it seems like a lot of money. I'd almost maybe sell this book if you probably have it and kind of wait for a dip to kind of buy it back because there will be a lull. The Blade movie is quite a ways away. So that's it at number 10. At number 9 this week is a copy of Journey into Mystery number 83, the first appearance of Thor, and I am shocked that this book is on here at number 9 this week. There's some major bangers on this list this week, so I'm glad to see that, but this one is a monster. Now, a CGC 1.8 recently sold this month for $5,760. To me, this is one of the biggest Silver Age books there is. If you can afford a copy of this book, whether it's a 1.0, a 1.8, 1.5, 5.0, whatever it is, pounce on it if you can because it's a great long-term investment. It's something I'd always be buying no matter what. I personally have a 1.0 CGC graded copy. I'd actually purchased this book raw. I thought it was maybe a 1.5 to 2.0. Came back a 1.0 from CGC, so I was a little disappointed. This is years ago. So if you want a copy of this book, I always suggest you buy it because this is a long-term hold. At number 8 this week is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 16, the first Spider-Man and Daredevil crossover, the first time they meet. This is a nice Silver Age key, a CGC 4.5 recently sold this month for $610. I will say this, I think all Amazing Spider-Man Silver Age books are collectible and are worth money. However, when I completed my Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 50 run, I was sticking to lower to mid-grade copies of this book, and I am not going to shell out $610 for a 6.5 on this key issue. It's a beautiful book. Love early Spider-Man, love early Yellow Suit Daredevil, but to me, I'm not shelling out 600 books unless it's a major, major key. And to me, I own this book, I have this book, but I'm not spending that amount. If you can get it for cheap, then I'd be buying it. If not, I would probably put my money towards something else. At number 7 this week is a copy of Black Panther 2, the newsstand edition, the first appearance of Shuri. We've all heard the rumors that she might take up the mantle of the Black Panther in the Black Panther 2 Wakanda Forever movie. I'm not sure that's going to happen. Obviously, she is the logical choice to succeed T'Challa. A 9.8 CGC newsstand copy sold this month for $915. You guys know how I feel about newsstand copies. I am not a buyer of them. I'll always buy the direct edition if they're affordable. However, I believe in this book, you have to buy a 9.8 or a 9.6. And depending on the price, I'm probably not shelling out a lot of money for this book. We've already seen her in a movie. I get it. We haven't seen her as Black Panther. But a lot of modern age books, I'm not spending the money, the big money, to own these keys. I will spend a little amount just to have them, but I'm not spending $1,000 on a 9.8 modern book. That's just not me. There are a select few that I will, but this is not one of them. At number 6 this week is a copy of Fantastic Four, number 67, the first appearance of Cocoon, which later goes on to become him, which later goes on to become Adam Warlock. We've talked about this book ad nauseum. right? Because it's been on the list for a while. I still think it's a buy. The CGC 5.5 just went up in value to $415 to me. I still think that is an affordable price for a Silver Age key. I always say though, Thor 165 is the money book. I'd rather have that one because we actually see him out of the cocoon. But either way, I'd own all three if we don't know which one is going to be the most affordable. At number 5 this week is another book I talked about. X-Men number 101, the first appearance of the Phoenix. I have owned this book in the past, and I still think I would like to own it in the future. The CGC 5.5 recently sold for $500. I will say this book has really not appreciated that much over the past couple of years. This storyline, I said, has been done to death in the Fox movies, and I think it will be a while before we see the Phoenix in the MCU. With that said, again, I'd like to own this book, but I'm probably not paying $500 at this point for this book, so I kind of wait for it to drop a little bit, and I think it will, because I said it will be a long time before we see the Phoenix in the MCU. So this is a no for me, but it's a no for right now. Eventually, I would like to own it. At number 4 this week is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 124, the first appearance of Man-Wolf. This is a key that no one's been really talking about. I know there's a little bit of rumors out there about him appearing in either Morbius movie or beyond. Believe it or not, a CGC 7.5 recently sold this month for a whopping $450, which to me I think is a little bit overpriced. I know this is a key. I know it's the first Man-Wolf, but to me that's a lot of money to pay for the second tier, third tier villain. So I'm probably not shelling out that much. However, if you can get a copy of this book for mid to lower grade, I'd probably pick it up under book value just in case we see him down the line in the MCU. But I'm not spending $450, so at that grade I'm not a buyer. But guess what, in the lower grade, if you can find it for undervalue, I am a buyer. At number 3 this week is a copy of Amazing Spider-Man number 23, the third appearance of the Green Goblin. Everyone and the mother has seen the Spider-Man No Way Home trailer by now. It was a doozy. Green Goblin is back. We know he's from the Spider-Man number 1 with Tobey Maguire. I'm not a second appearance buyer. I'm surely not going to be a third appearance buyer. But like I said, this is Silver Age Spider-Man, and it always has value. So I would be picking up this book. However, I'm only going to pick it up in a low to mid grade because I don't think that you should be buying high grade copies of this book, because I do believe it'll be harder to sell down the line. You have to find someone looking to spend that kind of money on a higher grade book. Now, CGC 6.0 recently sold this week for $420. And to me, while I like this book, it is Silver Age Spidey. Amazing cover. I do like this cover with the gray backgrounds and the pop of green, purple, and stuff. $420 to me is too much to spend on a fine copy of this book. If you can find one like a 3.0 range and spend a couple of $100, I'm always down to do it. I bought mine maybe about a year and a half ago, and I paid probably like $120 for it, and that's probably the range that I'd like to stick in for this book. Like I said, it's a third appearance. I don't collect too many second appearances, only if they're undervalued and I can get them for cheap. So I'm going to say the same thing for the third appearance. If you could find one for a deal, lower grade, add it to the collection because I do think it's worth it. But I'm not shelling out a ton of money just to have this book in a high grade and spend all that money for the third appearance. At number 2 this week is a monster key, Fantastic Four, number 4, the first appearance of the Submariner in the Silver Age. We all know Namor the Submariner has been rumored to show up in Black Panther 2. That is the rumor. Obviously, the first appearance is probably incredibly hard to find. It's going to be hundreds, if not tens of thousands of dollars for that copy if you ever found it. Forget that. Silver Age copy is where it is, and it is still expensive. A CGC 1.5 recently sold for $2,600. And to me, that's quite a pretty penny for a 1.5. However, I do think this is a book that will appreciate over time and still possibly go up once we see him in the MCU. So I'm a buyer no matter what on this book, as long as it is complete and it is over probably a 1.0, 1.5. Everything's all there. Cover, back cover, everything. I do think it's a solid buy because you're never going to find a true first appearance. They're really hard to come by. For $2,600, I would add it. I do not have a copy and would like to own one at some point. At number 1 is a book that I questioned last week was on this list, and now it is number 1. So that tells me something is awry, something is going on that we don't know what's happening. It is Strange Tales number 126, the first appearance of Dormammu, and of course, the guys who corrected me last week, the first appearance of Clea, and that is the reason why this book is going up. She is rumored to appear in Doctor Strange 2, The Multiverse of Madness. A CGC 4.0 sold this week for $349. And to me, that's okay. I wouldn't mind spending that much on a mid-grade book here. It's still a Silver Age copy. However, we'll see this. Be careful. Remember what happened with Mephisto when the whole thing about WandaVision, about him probably appearing in that show, and then later it didn't happen. The book tanked. Be careful. We don't know if she's going to show up in Doctor Strange 2. So I am going to throw a little caution out there. But if you could find this book for a little bit under price, I definitely would hang on to it just for the speculation of it. It is a nice Silver Age key to add and a nice Silver Age book to add to your collection. So that's it for the top 10 for this week, guys. You let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you agree with me or disagree with me on any of the books? I'm always interested in hearing your feedback. So like always, this is Lawrence over at Mighty Comics and Collectibles saying thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.